Hello, my global health peeps. Before I get started on the audio for this particular PowerPoint for Chapter 1, I did want to give you a little bit of background on these audio recordings. I had done them for about 4 to 5 semesters previous to this summer, and I felt like in the beginning they probably had some merit, and then perhaps only because I had heard them so many times, they tended to get really old, and I thought they no longer served any purpose, so I stopped posting them in the summer. Well, then upon reading course evaluations, students actually really liked these recordings and really missed them. So I am reinventing them with this new text. I am behind the 8 ball on this, so I'm having to re-record an audio and create a PowerPoint each week, so bear with me. I will kind of leave it up to you whether you choose to use these audios. I'm certainly not going to make them mandatory by any means. I think for those of you that may be more auditory learners versus visual learners, perhaps it helps. I try to incorporate all the different learning styles within my class because I know for me, I like to hear things as well as see them. So anyway, that being said, use this for what it's worth. You're not obligated to listen to it. I will try to record one each week for the PowerPoints that I create, and just kind of give you maybe a little bit different take on how I interpreted the information. Okay, now if we can get this to work. So, why should you take this class? Well, besides the obvious reason that it is a requirement for many of you according to your degrees, it's really important, valuable information. Global health is something that affects all of us. Our world continues to shrink. We don't have any borders due to air travel now. It's so easy for a disease or a virus that may have been dormant in our particular country or within our own borders to have us exposed to something that may be rampant in other countries, may not have been eliminated or controlled by any measures. So I think this is one of the many reasons that global health is so important. And despite the advances that we've made technologically, scientifically, even societally, economically, there's still so many challenges that remain. And we're going to cover a good number of these within this class. I think you'll find that a lot of what we cover in here is kind of common sense and, oh yeah, I kind of knew about that, but there's going to be other subjects that you're like, wow, I didn't realize that was part of global health. So here's kind of a brief list of what we will be talking about this semester. And all of these factors do indeed play into global health. So we have environmental factors, nutritional factors, sexual and reproductive health, childhood health, adolescent health, injuries, diseases, both communicable and non-communicable. And then as I'm still talking about things that we'll be covering in class and items or subjects which may apply, determinants of health. And please note, this is not to be confused with detriments. Easy confusion in the spelling, and I know a lot of people may tend to use determinants in the incorrect manner, so I wanted to put that out there. Also health status, the way that culture plays a part in our global health, global burden of disease, risk factors that may make you or your neighbor or your family in other parts of our country or family in other parts of the world more susceptible or more likely to develop a certain disease. Then we have our health transitions. So we've got demographic health transitions, nutritional health transitions, and epidemiological health transitions. Try saying that one fast. So I love this quote, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see it presented in our textbook. Prevention is better than cure. And I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant, which you will find I do in every single audio. I do get very passionate about particular subjects, and as a result, I do tend to go on rants. So unfortunately, our model of healthcare, I will say pretty much globally is really more of a reactionary based healthcare. We don't focus on the prevention. We wait to treat the condition once it's developed. So I think this is going to be my favorite quote this semester: prevention is better than cure. We need to look at how to prevent certain diseases, certain viruses, rather than treating them once they do occur. So we've made huge strides in improving human health. As a result, life expectancies have increased, childhood mortality rates have decreased, and we've had significant elimination or eradication of infectious diseases such as smallpox. Probably one of the biggest success stories of modern day as far as eradicating a bad disease. Burden of disease. It is constantly evolving. As mentioned a couple of slides ago, we've got economic changes. There are social changes. Every single day we're subject to social changes. Aging of our population. Just kind of a little extra fun fact on that. I'm the last of the baby boomer generation. Technically, I am a baby boomer. I don't necessarily identify with that particular generation. But when my generation reaches age 65, or I should say when my birth year, so I just turned 53, so in about 12 years, we will be looking at over 30% of our U.S. population being age 65 and older. That is going to blow up healthcare as we know it. It is going to blow up every aspect of society, whether it's business, whether it's health, technology. All of these really play into global health. And then even though we've made such progress with greater life expectancies and lower rates of mortality, there's still so many disparities that exist. Wealthier countries far and beyond have a much better access to health services. So much of that is due to education, which we'll cover in future chapters. And then we've got a lag in this progress from our middle and low income countries. They're not progressing at the rate that the wealthier countries are, with the exceptions of countries like China, Cuba, and Costa Rica, which have put political issues into play that have helped to eliminate some of the health disparities that we would typically see with a low to middle income country. Anyway, that is chapter 1 in a nutshell. As I said, please do with this information what you wish. If you choose to listen to the audios, that's great. If you feel like they're more of a pain than they're worth, please let me know. I do like to give students a choice, and this is your class. You guys are the ones paying for it. I am just here to kind of guide things and try to keep them on track. So hopefully you've gained a little bit of information, a little bit of perspective, and I will talk to you again in week 2.